Welcome back to the deep dive. This time, we're diving deep into the world of high-quality notebooks.
Ooh, fun.
And not just browsing for yourself,
Right?
but you're thinking about sourcing them for your business,
Oh, wow.
which is super exciting.
Yeah.
We've got some intel from a major player in the market that I think will be incredibly valuable for you.
I think you're going to find this fascinating. This market is booming, and there are a lot of factors at play.
Okay, so our source material today comes from Lion Paper Products,
Okay.
a notebook manufacturer, and it looks like some internal marketing material they've put together titled Chirek.
Okay.
So get ready for this. It says here that a whopping 70% of consumers actually prefer personalized products.
Wow.
That's a massive chunk of the market.
Huge.
Why do you think personalization has become such a big deal, especially for something as simple as a notebook?
That's a great question, and it goes beyond just notebooks. There's been a huge cultural shift toward individual expression.
Yeah.
People want products that reflect their unique style and personality,
Mm-hmm.
even down to the things they use every day.
Mm.
For businesses, tapping into that desire for personalization is a powerful way to connect with customers on a deeper level.
So it's not just a trend, it's
Yeah.
a fundamental shift in how people think about the products they buy.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, as you were looking at this document, what really jumped out at you in terms of the overall notebook market?
Well, Asia's dominance in the stationery and lifestyle product market is undeniable.
Hmm.
It's a hub for manufacturing, and the notebook industry is no exception. The sheer variety of options available is incredible,
Yeah.
but it also presents a challenge for someone like you,
Oh, really?
finding the right manufacturer in this vast landscape.
It can feel overwhelming.
It is.
They do provide a top 10 list of manufacturers. I'm curious, what are some of the factors that set these top manufacturers apart? Not just names, but what makes them special.
Let's take Lion Paper, the company behind this document, as a starting point. What I find interesting is their emphasis on an integrated approach. They handle everything in-house:
Oh, wow.
design, research and development, and manufacturing.
Wow.
This level of control can really contribute to consistent quality. They also have multiple factory locations both in China and Cambodia, which speaks to their production capacity,
Yeah.
and something that should be particularly relevant to you.
Yeah.
They've got ISO 9001 and FAMA certifications.
Now, I know certifications matter, but can you break down why those specific certifications are so crucial for someone looking to source notebooks?
Absolutely. Think of ISO 9001 as the gold standard for quality management systems. It means they've implemented a rigorous set of processes to ensure consistent quality throughout their entire operation,
Wow.
from sourcing materials to the final product. And for you, that translates to peace of mind. You're less likely to encounter surprises or inconsistencies in your orders. The FAMA certification adds another layer of assurance specifically for responsible factory practices.
So these certifications are like shorthand for a reliable partner. That's really helpful to know. Now, what about some of the other manufacturers? I see Kokuyo from Japan on the list.
Yes.
They have a reputation for being top-notch, don't they?
They do. Kokuyo really embodies that Japanese commitment to precision and quality that has become so iconic.
Yeah.
They're known for their premium notebooks and innovative designs, pushing the boundaries of what a notebook can be.
Right.
And that kind of reputation can be a valuable asset if you're thinking about branding and marketing your own notebooks.
Right. The name carries weight. Then there's Moleskine.
Yes.
I'll admit, I've always wondered, is it really all about the brand name, or are their notebooks truly that much better?
It's a fascinating case study in branding.
Yeah.
They've managed to create an aura of sophistication around a fairly simple product. They use high-quality materials,
Yeah.
yes, but they've also cultivated an image that appeals to a specific type of consumer,
Right.
someone who sees their notebook as an extension of their personal style, almost a luxury item.
I can see how that approach could translate to higher price points. But what about someone who's budget conscious? I imagine there are manufacturers who focus on offering more affordable options.
Absolutely. You got companies like Navneet, a major player in the South Asian market.
Okay.
They cater to a more price-sensitive customer base without sacrificing quality. And this might be a sweet spot for you if you're looking to balance quality and affordability for your business.
It's amazing how there's a manufacturer for every niche and budget. Now, sustainability is such a big topic these days.
It is.
Are there manufacturers who are leading the charge in that area?
There are. And it's becoming a significant factor for consumers, especially in markets like Europe and North America.
Hmm.
Paper One stands out in this regard.
Okay.
They specialize in environmentally sustainable notebooks. That FSC certification you see next to their name,
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
right.
It means their paper comes from responsibly managed forests, which is a huge selling point for eco-conscious consumers.
You're right, that little logo carries a lot of weight these days. Kokuyo, which we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
is also making strides in sustainability, incorporating recycled materials and eco-friendly practices. So there are options at different price points, which is great to see.
It's definitely a trend to watch. Consumers are becoming more discerning,
Hmm.
and sustainability is becoming a key factor in their purchasing decisions.
Okay, so we've gotten a glimpse of this top 10 list, and it's pretty impressive. But here's the thing.
Yes.
This document is from Lion Paper.
Right.
Are we getting a completely objective view here, or should we be a little skeptical?
That's a smart question.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that this is at its core a marketing document.
Right.
They're showcasing their strengths and highlighting what they perceive to be their competitive advantages.
So how do we, as savvy consumers of information, separate the genuine insights from the marketing spin? What are the key things to look for?
One way is to focus on the data points they provide.
Okay.
They mention their annual production capacity, the breadth of their client base, and their certifications. These are concrete details that can be independently verified.
So it's not just about taking their word for it.
Right.
We can do a bit of digging ourselves to see if the claims hold up.
Exactly. And even if there's a bit of marketing flair, the document still gives us valuable insights into their strategy and how they position themselves within the market.
It's like getting a peek behind the curtain.
Yes,
We can learn from their approach even if we choose to go with a different manufacturer.
precisely. Understanding their perspective helps us understand the broader market dynamics.
You know, they talk about some interesting trends shaping the market. They bring up that 70% figure again,
Yeah.
the demand for personalization.
Right.
What are your thoughts on how manufacturers are approaching this trend?
Sure.
Is it just about offering a few different colors, or is there more to it?
It's gone way beyond just basic color choices.
Oh, wow.
We're seeing manufacturers offer a wide range of customization options, from custom covers and paper types to unique binding styles, page layouts, and even special features like pockets or pen loops.
Wow. I'm realizing I never considered some of these options.
It's amazing.
It's like designing your ideal notebook tailored to your exact needs.
And the technology is catching up. Digital printing and laser engraving are making mass customization possible,
Oh, wow.
allowing manufacturers to personalize notebooks on a larger scale without compromising efficiency.
So it's not just about catering to individual whims.
Right.
It's a viable business model.
I guess.
That's really cool.
And it's only going to become more sophisticated as technology continues to evolve.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground already. We've seen the power of branding, the importance of certifications, and the rise of customization. What other trends are you seeing that could impact someone looking to source notebooks?
Well, there's one we've touched on but haven't explored in detail yet. Sustainability.
Right.
It's not just a buzzword. It's a fundamental shift in consumer behavior.
Hmm.
We're seeing a growing demand for eco-friendly products across the board,
Yeah,
and the notebook industry is no exception.
that makes sense. People are becoming more conscious of their environmental footprint, and they want the products they buy to reflect their values.
Absolutely.
How are manufacturers responding to this demand? Is it just about using recycled paper, or is there more to it?
It's definitely a multifaceted issue. Manufacturers are rethinking every step of the process, from sourcing raw materials and reducing waste to minimizing their carbon footprint throughout the supply chain. They're exploring alternative materials like bamboo and cork and experimenting with innovative production methods that minimize environmental impact.
It sounds like they're taking a holistic approach, considering the entire life cycle of the notebook.
Yes.
And for someone like me who's passionate about sustainability, that's incredibly encouraging.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's not just about altruism. It's becoming a smart business strategy.
Yeah.
Consumers, especially younger generations, are willing to pay a premium for products that align with their values.
So sustainability is good for the planet and good for business.
It is a win-win.
That's a win-win. We've talked a lot about Asian manufacturers, but the document mentions that North America is actually the top market for high-quality planners.
Interesting.
Why do you think that is?
Hmm.
Is there something about North American culture that drives this demand?
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
It could be cultural. Perhaps there's a greater emphasis on planning and organization in North American work culture. Or it could be tied to the types of industries that are prominent in North America's sectors, like finance consulting and tech, often involve complex projects and demanding schedules, which might lead to a higher demand for sophisticated planning tools.
So the market demand is shaped by a combination of cultural factors and industry-specific leads.
Precisely. And that highlights an important point for you as you explore sourcing options.
Okay.
You need to consider not only the quality and cost of the notebooks themselves, but also the specific needs and preferences of your target market.
It's all about finding the right fit.
Exactly. Think about who you're selling, to what they value, and how they use notebooks in their daily lives.
Right.
Those insights will guide you toward the best sourcing decisions for your business.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I've gone from just liking notebooks to understanding the complexities of the entire industry.
It's a fascinating world,
It is.
and we've only just begun to explore it.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've seen the major players, the trends shaping the market, and the factors you need to consider when sourcing notebooks for your business.
Absolutely. And there's so much more to uncover.
Stay tuned because there's much more to explore.
We'll be back with more insights and strategies in part 2.
I'm excited to continue this journey with you and our listeners.
Me too. It's going to be good.
All right, we'll see you in part 2.
See you then.
We're back and ready to dive even deeper into the world of notebook sourcing. I'm still thinking about all the different manufacturers we discussed.
Yeah,
And how each one seems to have its own unique approach.
it's true.
Like thinking about the manufacturers we've discussed, what are your initial impressions of Moleskine? Their branding is incredibly strong,
Yeah.
even though their prices are a bit higher.
Right.
Do you think it's all hype, or is there something special about their notebooks that justifies the premium?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
They've carefully cultivated an image that appeals to a specific type of customer
Right.
who sees their notebook as more than just a utilitarian tool.
Yeah.
It's a statement piece, an extension of their personality.
Right.
And to back that up, they do use high-quality materials
Okay.
and pay attention to the finer details like the feel of the paper and the sturdiness of the binding.
So they're not just relying on a fancy name.
Right.
They're delivering on the promise. That's an interesting takeaway for me because it shows how powerful branding can be. If you can create a strong brand identity and back it up with a quality product, you can command a premium price.
Absolutely. And that's something to consider as you develop your own sourcing strategy.
Yeah.
What kind of experience do you want your notebooks to create for your customers? What story do you want your brand to tell? These are questions that can guide your decisions about which manufacturers to partner with.
It's making me realize that sourcing isn't just about finding the cheapest option. It's about finding a manufacturer that aligns with your brand vision and the experience you want to deliver. Now, thinking back to the line paper document,
Yeah.
they emphasize their certifications,
Uh-huh.
especially ISO 9001. I know it's a signal of quality, but for someone who might not be familiar with the specifics, could you explain why that particular certification is so important, especially for a business owner like our listener?
Yeah. ISO 9001 is all about having a robust quality management system in place.
Okay.
It's not just about one good batch of notebooks.
Right.
It's about having a consistent, repeatable process that ensures quality at every stage of production.
Okay.
For a business owner, this is crucial because it reduces risk. You can be confident that the notebooks you order will consistently meet your standards whether you're ordering 100 or 10,000.
So it's a way to safeguard your brand reputation and ensure customer satisfaction. It takes the guesswork out of sourcing.
Right, when you see that ISO 9001 certification,
Yeah.
the manufacturer has gone through a rigorous process to demonstrate their commitment to quality. They're not just saying they have good practices, they've proven it.
That level of transparency is incredibly valuable. It builds trust and confidence in the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Speaking of trust, we've talked about how this line paper document is essentially a marketing piece. How should we approach the information presented? Should we take everything at face value, or is there a need for a healthy dose of skepticism?
It's always smart to be a discerning consumer of information, especially when it comes to marketing materials. Remember, their goal is to present themselves in the best possible light.
So how do we separate the marketing fluff from the genuinely useful insights? Are there any red flags to watch out for?
One way to assess the validity of their claims is to look for concrete data and evidence. For instance, they mention their annual production capacity, their client base, and their certifications. These are verifiable data points that can help you gauge their capabilities and track record.
Okay.
You can also compare their claims with industry reports and information from other sources to get a more well-rounded perspective.
So it's about cross-referencing and doing a bit of independent research to validate the information.
Right.
Even if the document has a marketing slant, it can still be useful for understanding their brand positioning and what they consider their strengths.
Absolutely. It gives you a glimpse into their thinking and how they perceive themselves within the market.
Let's shift gears a bit and revisit some of the key market trends that Lion Paper highlighted.
Okay.
They mentioned that 70% of consumers prefer personalized products. It's clear that customization is a major force in the market.
It is.
But what does that actually look like in practice? What are some of the innovative ways that manufacturers are personalizing notebooks?
It's gone way beyond just slapping a logo on a cover.
Yeah.
We're seeing manufacturers embrace a wide array of customization options.
Yeah.
From custom covers and paper types to unique binding styles, page layouts, and even special features like pockets or pen loops.
Wow. I'm picturing all sorts of possibilities. It's like designing your own dream notebook, tailored to your exact preferences.
And the technology is there to make it happen.
Yeah.
Digital printing and laser engraving, for instance, allow for mass customization without sacrificing efficiency. Manufacturers can create unique designs and personalize each notebook on a larger scale.
So it's not just about offering a few preset options.
Oh, right.
It's about giving customers the power to co-create their own unique product.
Exactly. And that level of personalization can be a powerful differentiator in a crowded market.
It taps into that desire for individual expression that we talked about earlier. It makes the product feel more personal and meaningful.
And it can justify a higher price point.
Right.
People are often willing to pay more for something that feels unique and tailored to their needs.
Speaking of trends alongside customization, Lion Paper also emphasized the growing focus on sustainability. I know this is something you're passionate about.
Oh, yeah.
Could you talk about some of the innovative approaches that manufacturers are taking to make their notebooks more eco-friendly?
It's exciting to see how sustainability is becoming integrated into every aspect of the notebook industry.
Yeah.
Manufacturers are sourcing raw materials from responsibly managed forests, certified by organizations like the Forest Stewardship Council.
Okay.
They're minimizing waste during production, using recycled materials whenever possible, and even exploring alternative materials like bamboo and cork.
It sounds like they're looking at the entire supply chain from forest to finished product and finding ways to minimize their environmental impact at every step.
And it goes beyond just the materials themselves.
Right.
They're also implementing energy-efficient production processes, reducing water usage, and minimizing packaging waste. It's a holistic approach that considers the entire life cycle of the notebook.
It's not just about ticking a few boxes. It's about a genuine commitment to doing business in a more sustainable way. And for consumers who are increasingly eco-conscious, that matters.
Absolutely. Sustainability is no longer just a nice-to-have. It's becoming a must-have for brands that want to connect with modern consumers.
It's becoming a core value that influences purchasing decisions.
And for businesses like yours, it's an opportunity to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and appeal to a growing segment of consumers who are willing to vote with their wallets.
We've talked a lot about Asian manufacturers.
We have.
But the document mentioned that North America is the top market for high-quality planners.
That's right.
I found that intriguing. Is there something about North American culture that drives this demand? Why do you think planners are such a big thing in North America?
It's a fascinating question. It could be rooted in cultural differences in work styles and time management practices. Perhaps there's a greater emphasis on planning and organization in North American business culture. A sense that having a detailed plan is essential for success.
It's almost like a planner is seen as a badge of honor,
Right.
a symbol of someone who is organized and on top of things.
And it could also be tied to the prevalence of certain industries in North America.
Yeah.
Sectors like finance, consulting, and tech often involve complex projects, tight deadlines, and demanding schedules.
Right.
A high-quality planner becomes an indispensable tool for navigating that complexity.
So the market demand is a combination of cultural norms and industry-specific needs.
Exactly.
And that highlights the importance of understanding your target audience and tailoring your sourcing decisions to their specific preferences.
Precisely. As you consider your sourcing strategy,
Okay.
you need to think about who your ideal customer is,
Right.
what they value, and how they use notebooks in their daily lives. Are they looking for a simple functional notebook or something more luxurious and expressive? Do they prioritize sustainability, or are they more focused on affordability?
Right.
These insights will help you narrow down your options and choose the right manufacturer for your brand.
It's about matching the product to the market. And this has been such a valuable conversation. I feel like I've gained a much deeper understanding of the notebook industry and the factors that drive sourcing decisions.
I'm glad you're finding this insightful.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just the beginning.
Okay.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore even more specific strategies for making informed sourcing decisions. We'll look at how to evaluate manufacturers, negotiate pricing, and ensure that your sourcing process is aligned with your business goals.
I can't wait to hear more. Stay tuned, because we're just getting started. We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of notebook sourcing. I'm feeling so energized by all the insights we've uncovered.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
It has. From branding and customization to sustainability and market trends, it's clear that this industry is dynamic and innovative.
It is, and I think what's really exciting is how these trends are converging to create new possibilities for businesses like yours.
Yeah.
It's not just about sourcing notebooks anymore.
Right.
It's about creating a product that embodies your brand values and resonates with your target audience.
That's such a powerful idea. It's not just a notebook, it's a statement.
Hmm.
Speaking of statements, we talked about how sustainability is becoming a major driving force in the market. Consumers are increasingly demanding products that are eco-friendly and ethically produced. How are manufacturers responding to this shift? Are they just slapping on a green label, or are they making genuine changes to their practices?
There's definitely a spectrum when it comes to sustainability.
Mm,
Some companies are making surface-level changes, while others are truly committed to transforming their entire operations.
right.
The ones who are serious about it are looking at everything from the materials they use to the energy they consume to the waste they generate.
So it's about more than just using recycled paper. It's about a holistic approach that considers the entire life cycle of the product.
Right.
What are some of the specific things manufacturers are doing to make their notebooks more sustainable?
Well, they're going beyond just using recycled paper, which is a great starting point, and exploring alternative materials like bamboo and cork, which are both renewable and biodegradable. They're also reducing their reliance on virgin pulp by using post-consumer waste and implementing closed-loop systems where they recycle their own waste products.
It's fascinating how they're turning waste into a resource. It's like closing the loop on the production process.
Exactly. And they're finding innovative ways to reduce their energy and water consumption, too. They're investing in renewable energy sources like solar and wind power and implementing water-saving technologies in their factories.
It sounds like they're taking a comprehensive approach, considering every aspect of their operations and finding ways to minimize their environmental impact. What are some of the challenges manufacturers face as they transition to more sustainable practices? It can't be easy or cheap.
It definitely requires a significant investment both in terms of capital and research and development. Sourcing sustainable materials can be more expensive, and implementing new technologies can disrupt existing workflows. There's also the challenge of educating consumers about the value of sustainability and getting them to buy into the idea of paying a premium for eco-friendly products.
It's like a cultural shift. We need to redefine value and recognize that sustainable products, even if they cost a bit more upfront, are an investment in the long-term health of our planet. Now, when we were looking at that top 10 list from Lion Paper, we noticed a few manufacturers that stood out in terms of their commitment to sustainability. What makes these companies leaders in this area?
I think they're going above and beyond the minimum requirements. They're not just complying with regulations, they're setting new standards for the industry. They're transparent about their practices, actively seeking out certifications like FSC and B Corp, and engaging in ongoing efforts to improve their sustainability performance.
They're walking the walk, not just talking the talk, and that's something that discerning consumers are looking for.
Absolutely. And it's not just about meeting consumer demand, it's about a genuine belief that business can be a force for good in the world.
It's inspiring to see companies taking a stand and using their influence to drive positive change. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Right.
I want to circle back to our listener who's embarking on their notebook sourcing journey.
Yeah.
What are some key takeaways or pieces of advice you would offer as they navigate this process? What are the most important things to keep in mind?
First and foremost, be clear about your goals and what you want to achieve through sourcing. Are you looking for the lowest possible price, or are you willing to pay a premium for quality, sustainability, or specific features? Once you know what's important to you, you can start narrowing down your options.
It's like having a roadmap. You need to know your destination before you can plan your route.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask questions and do your research. Reach out to different manufacturers, request samples, and compare their offerings. Look beyond just the price tag and consider factors like quality lead times, minimum order quantities, and their commitment to sustainability and ethical practices.
It's about finding a partner, not just a supplier, someone who shares your values and understands your vision.
Right, and trust your instincts. When you find a manufacturer that feels like the right fit, go for it. Building a strong relationship with your supplier is essential for long-term success.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the world of notebooks and the intricacies of sourcing.
Me too. It's been a fascinating journey.
It has. And to our listener, as you embark on this journey, remember the words of William Morris. Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. May your notebooks be both. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.